Hey guys, it's me, your friend Gabe El Taib, and I just want to introduce my guest today. I thank you all for tuning in. This is going to be really exciting. I have Mike Barron, one of my oldest and best friends in all the comics. He worked on, you know him from Nexus, you know him from Punisher, and now he's got his new book, Thin Blue Line. And I knew I would mess that up instead of just remembering that intro. So let me bring in my guest, the great, the one and only Mike Barron. Here we go. Add you to the stream.
Hi,
How
Gabe.
you doing, Mike?
Good.
Hey, we just so you guys know, we had a great boomer moment before the show. I was trying to check the microphones and stuff, and my speakers were off in my office. So Mike and his poor wife Ann were frantically plugging things in and turning things off and on. And after about 5 minutes of torturing Mike, realized it was all my fault because I couldn't hear Mike because my speakers were off. So we got off to a great start. How you doing this morning, Mike?
Doing good.
All right. So you have a new project, Thin Blue Line, but I wanted to let people get to know you. How long have you been doing comics? I know the thing you're most known for is Nexus. I absolutely love it, you and Steve Root. But how long, when did you get into comics?
1981 is when we broke in with Nexus.
Oh, geez, I was 3 years old. So I'm still picking my nose and drawing Star Wars space battles on butcher paper. Goodness. So, we got a lot of people here. That's nice. So who came up with the idea for Nexus? And how did you know Steve Root? Was it a local friend or how did that work?
I was working at an insurance company one day when I got a telephone call from a newspaper editor, and he said, "There's some guy down here trying to sell us his art, and he draws just like you."
Oh, really? So you used
Yeah, I was trying to draw at the time, and of course, I was trying to draw superheroes.
I see.
But my editor friend, he didn't know art, and so I arranged to meet the dude. We met on the steps of the student union, and he opened his portfolio, and I gave up drawing. And we were in the right place at the right time. We'd heard that Capital City Distribution, the second largest distributor of comic books in the world, wanted to publish their own comics. So I went home and I brainstormed Nexus all out of my own head. And I drew the first 12 pages out by hand, which is how I wrote comics for at least 10 years, probably more than like 15 years.
Oh,
Uh,
Alan Moore used to do the same thing. He would do these fully drawn scripts. I have a Wildcat Spawn script that the great Scott Clark gave me when I was in high school. But go ahead.
Archie Goodwin did too.
Okay.
So I gave those pages to the dude. He took them home. He penciled them, he inked them, and he lettered them. And we showed them to the boys from Capitol, and they said, "All right, let's go. We need 20 more pages."
Very cool. Very cool. So, okay, yeah. So Nexus was just groundbreaking. It was highly acclaimed. I'm sure you guys won some awards for it. Again, it's a little bit before my time. I was 3 years old when this came out. But you gave me a ton of them. Mike and I have been friends since about 2000. When did the Detonator come out? 2003 or 4 or 5, something like that?
Yeah, it was certainly before '05.
Yeah, and I drew issue 3 of Detonator after meeting Mike at a comic book store in Fort Collins. Well, here's how I met Mike. I went to the comic book store every Thursday in Fort Collins, Colorado. I was going to college about an hour away. And I saw there was a new book called The Detonator from Image Comics, similar to The Punisher. And we'll get to that. And I was flipping through it, and I'm like, oh, man, I could do these colors and stuff. I wonder if he needs a colorist. Because at the time, they didn't have a colorist. They were just putting in flat colors. So I went home, drew a picture of the Detonator. I'll have to dig that up one day. It's not a good drawing. I drew a picture of the Detonator flying out the window like the Matrix, shooting back into the building. Went to the comic book store to meet Mike the next day because he was signing copies of the Detonator, and he hired me on the spot to draw issue 3. Which I never saw. It was published like in a French edition and stuff, and I don't know. But
I don't know if I have a copy either.
right. So yeah, that was a long time ago, the Detonator. So yeah, that was fun stuff. So that's how I met you, and we've been friends ever since. So, but yeah, so you've given me a lot of really primo copies of Nexus. I think I have that. Is it Galassi, Paul Galassi? Galassi, I have that original oversized one that he did. That's really nice.
Yeah, that was issue number 1.
Very cool. So, so Nexus, the success of that led you over to Marvel and DC. Because didn't you do the Flash and stuff for DC or something like that?
Yes,
But I know you did the Punisher for about what, 50 issues or something like
5
that.
years, 65 issues.
Oh wow! And when did you start working on the Punisher?
Oh, I'd have to take a look, Abe. I forget, but I do remember that Carl Potts called me up and asked me to write it on the basis of the Badger.
Oh, very cool. The Badger. I should have my daughter collects these images for me. So yeah, maybe I should have collected some of the Badger is a fun martial arts here if you guys are into just insane martial arts with a little bit of comedy in it. So, and Mike is a very good comedy writer as well as action and adventure. So, but yeah, do you remember any of this, or is this just another lifetime?
Oh no, I remember this.
You do? Okay, very cool. Yeah, there's just something about that aesthetic of those mid to late 80s comics. I really love the colors and the bold designs because they had to make more out of less. You know, they didn't have computer colors like us where we could color down to, 600 DPI pixel, get these little details in that. There's just something to be said for the boldness of these images. So I think it's very charming. I love this stuff. I love the whole aesthetic of 80s and 90s, especially like action and martial arts cinema. And martial arts is a huge part of your life, isn't it? Are you still taking lessons? Are you too?
I'm still training. I trained yesterday.
Jeez. Yeah, I remember the time I was at your house. So like I told you guys, I would go to Mike's house every Thursday and we'd have conclaves with me and Mike and some other guys. We'd have Mike would make this delicious homemade chili and we'd hang out and talk comics. And Mike was trying to show me this move where you grab your opponent's arm and you push it into your own chest. And then you use that. Let me get this in frame. You use that leverage to break their wrist. He's like, yeah, I was learning this move. This guy takes my arm into his chest and just accidentally does it. I go home with a knot on my wrist like this big.
I'm sorry, Gabe.
Thank God you didn't rip my tendons in my wrist, but you did hurt me. So thank you.
I'm sorry, Gabe.
And I am much bigger than you. You're lucky.
I know.
So yeah, dangerous Mike Barron, and yeah. So that was those are good times. I miss those, but I get out to Colorado more often now. So I'll hit you up next time I'm there.
Great.
Oh, we've got Nexus. We've got them calling you up to write The Punisher. You got Badger. You wrote Flash, right, at DC for a while?
Yes.
Okay, I do remember hearing about that. But again, I was a little guy when I didn't start collecting comics till 8th grade. So that was before my time. But now we have probably, your second or third Kickstarter project? How many have you done so far? You did.
Well, I've done 2 with Ann. Ann runs my novel Kickstarters. She did the Nexus novel and the Badger novel. And then I did one with Larry Stewart, which was off-worlder. But my main man is Chris Brawley, who ran the Florida Man campaign. And Chris is running the Thin Blue Line campaign.
Okay.
And you remember Joe. Joe was at our conclaves too. And Joe is now a full-time police officer, and he's the artist on Thin Blue Line.
That's amazing. So let's take a look at it. Who did this cover here? Is this Joe Arnold, or did you
That's
have
Butch Geis.
Geez. I colored Butch Geis on a book at Wildstorm. It was like a World War II historical book. I don't remember what it was called. This is like 2009. But Butch Geis is fantastic. And I think he also just did some art for the Brightwisers on that time travel book.
Is it the Futurists?
Yeah, and I colored.
Yeah, Butch has been doing that. And of course, Butch illustrated my Flash run.
Okay, he's fantastic. I colored issue 3 of the Futurists, and then Mitch Brightweiser goes back in and tightens it up. It was a deadline thing, deadlines in comics, right? So, but yeah, Butch, I've always been a big fan. He's one of the real artistes of comics, in my opinion. You know what I mean? He's really like a fine artist and a comic book artist. So, Fizz Chozo asks in the chat, did Mike have Punisher doing Kung Fu? I think Kung Fu Punisher kind of defeats the point. Did you have the
well, no, but I did have him doing a lot of hand-to-hand combat, and I take a pride in portraying martial arts in comics in a clear, linear, and dynamic manner, so that not only can you see the technique unfold, but it's part of the story. I don't gloss over that stuff, because one of the reasons I started doing it was when I was picking up Master of Kung Fu, and I loved Master of Kung Fu, especially the Galassi issues. But even then, back then, I knew I wasn't seeing any real martial arts. All I was seeing were poses.
Right. You didn't have anyone, they weren't realistic, like, busting your friend's wrist almost in your kitchen. But yeah, thank you for the question there. So Thin Blue Line, it's obviously going to be a police is it action? Is it drama? Is it all of it? How would you describe
it? It is action and drama. I can't stress it's not a polemic at all. There's no preaching whatsoever. It's just a very gripping and entertaining story. I guarantee once you start, you're not going to be able to set it down.
Okay, so the the villains are not all left-wingers. We're not preaching to people like that.
We spread it out a little bit, and I don't name any names, but you could tell who's who in the story, and that goes, and it covers the gamut of political persuasions, and you'll see what I mean when you read the story.
All right, and this is beautiful. Who colored this?
Ixan and Sori.
Okay, haven't heard of him, but I guess people will. This is nice work. I do really like that. Let's get a little bit closer look here. So, guys, there are links in the description of this video right to Mike's Indiegogo. Let's see if we can help this guy. He's been in our business for the better part of 40 years. It would be a better part of 40 years. Let's see if we can support this book. I know you guys work hard for your money, and there's a little bit of inflation and things are tight. So let us earn it with quality entertainment for you guys.
Okay, I'm posting the link in the chat, the private chat right here.
Okay, and I'll throw that into the regular chat. Let me go boomer that and screw it up. I'm really sorry about before we went on the air. I kept telling you your mic didn't work and my speakers weren't on. Oh, Mike, that's funny.
Don't worry about it. I don't know why I have this ugly private chat thing here, but I just want to post the link, and for some reason it won't let me post the link.
That's all right. The link is in the top of the description on this video. So anyone looking right at YouTube, it's the first thing you're going to see. You don't even have to scroll down.
I know, but it's got this odious private chat thing. And I don't want this private, and it wants my email, and it wants a message, but I just want it to go away. There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
You got it in there? Thank you, Mike. All right. So I will throw that into the regular chat. But let me say, someone has a question here. Julie Pascal says, do you plan on a continuing series of stories with these characters? I think she's referring to Thin Blue Line.
No. Not really. It's a one-off, but if it goes over the top and people like it and the reception is good, I would consider doing more with the characters because a couple of them survive.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's see. Oh, I got an announcement too for just the chat and the community. Hervoye Grahovac. I hope I'm saying your name right. I know you from when I used to stream all the time, and you are a mod now for this channel because I know you very well and I can trust you. And let's see here. He also says, Hervoye says, Offworlder is decent for a first issue. Can't complain about that comment. And what else do we got? Oh, Fizz Chozo says, everybody was already going to back Thin Blue Line anyway because it's Mike Barron, an industry pro. So
thank you, Fizz.
Thank you so much. And again, in this movement we're doing here, Comicsgate, and by the way, hi, Comicsgate. Fans are everything. We're not going to insult you. We're not going to tell you that you're whatever bigot of any stripe because of, I don't know, for whatever reason. We just, Mike, what is the number one goal here? You tell me all the time.
Number one goal is to entertain.
That's it. We want you guys to be thrilled and have fun and be grateful that you spent your very hard-earned money to support artists like us so we can entertain you. That's all we're trying to do here.
And one of the bright spots in my life is I believe my writing has gotten better, and I don't let anything out of the house these days unless it's a home run.
Yeah, and you already were great years ago, so you're even better now. So
there are many titles I wish I could recall.
That's okay. The life of a commercial artist, we have to try our best on everything, even if we're not that excited about it. I have not been in love with 100% of the heroes I've worked on, but I've been grateful as hell for the chance to work on them. You know what I mean? So that's you have to balance that in your head. Reagan Lodge, the great Reagan Lodge, who he has an Indiegogo coming. It's gorgeous. It's anthropomorphic characters. I forget what it's called, Reagan, but I love the artwork. You'll have to remind me. He says, hey, what up, Gabe and Mike? Top of the morning to you all. It is still morning here in beautiful Southern California. And if you're not in Southern California, you have my condolences. It is wonderful.
Still morning here in Colorado.
That is God's country. If I could combine Colorado and California, and I just mean the nature, not the politics. If I could just combine them somehow and live in both at the same time, I'd be happy as a clam. So, we got a question from Chizo. I'm going to get it right. Fizz Chozo. How did Mike Barron come up with different villains for Punisher to kill every week?
Well, Fizz, just as I did with Thin Blue Line, I was ripping stories from the headlines back in the day. And if you
Okay.
go back, you'll find a Jim Jones type cult leader was a villain. I think uh, I forget what I call him, but he appears in the first couple of issues. And then I had a Crooked Wall Street Inside Traders, were another group of crooks.
Bunch of
And
congressmen.
I had a biker gang that was running meth, was another group, and I just looked at what was happening and what the main crime trends were in the country at that time.
Okay, very cool. So you kept it relevant and raw, kind of like Dun Dun, how Law and Order did those ripped from the headlines kind of things.
Well, I approached Punisher as a straight crime story, and for 3 years there were no robots or aliens or superheroes.
Very cool. I like this cover here. I don't know who did it. It's got a little Mike Zeck in the face, but I have no
No,
idea.
it's not Zach. Gee, I wish I knew.
Just a
Who.
little in the face. I have no idea who did it. I do like him with these cherub-like children just smiling as he just blasts
Yeah,
away his
yeah.
Mac 10. We had another question in the chat. Let's see. Mob Seat says Mike Barron is the perfect name for a 1940s private eye. It's funny you should say that. That's what he used to do. No, just kidding. Let's see. There was another question, but I missed it. Let me go back and check. Oh, AJ Tom deserves credit. Thank you, AJ Tom, because he says excited for this book. Mike, I'm backer number 3. That's amazing, Mike.
Wow, AJ, thank you. You're a pioneer.
I recently sent the campaign to a friend who's an officer in my city. He loved it and plans on sharing it. Do you plan to see this in other police departments? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I have a number of friends who are police officers, and they're all aware of the book, and they're all spreading the word around. And last week, I was contacted by the National Police Association, and they're going to interview me next week.
Oh, congratulations, man. That's awesome. I didn't know about that. So it's good to just get this action and adventure back and get rid of this like weirdo indoctrination stuff. Like I couldn't be more happy to be doing what I'm doing now because Mike, as everyone can see through. Let me hog the camera. You guys know what I love. I love action and adventure, and
Is that Jean-Claude?
That is Jean-Claude dancing his buns off. The muscles from Brussels. That was in Kickboxer. He gets drunk at that like waterfront bar and then fights everyone in the bar. It's pretty fun. So
and then he dances, right?
You have a great Jean-Claude Van Damme story. It's a very short story, but I love it. When you were working on Time Cop and the movie and all that with Mike Richardson at Dark Horse.
Well, it's more Mike Richardson's story. Mike Richardson is the publisher of Dark Horse and producer of many films, including Time Cop. And Mike told me a funny story once. He said he was at Jean-Claude's house in Hollywood, and there was a big party, and Mike was standing at the buffet bar loading up a plate, and Jean-Claude comes over and he says, "You come to my house, you eat my food, you steal from me." And that's the whole story. But he was doing that was back in the days when he was doing a lot of blow.
Right, he was doing more cocaine than jump kicks back then. But you know what? I love Van Damme. He's my favorite guy. No judgment, and he turned his life around. And he says he's got clean and all that. So good for him. There's always hope. But that is an entertaining story. How would you feel if some guy that could just beat the crap out of you was just high as a kite and like, "You steal from my house," and obviously he didn't steal anything. So, someone says he danced better in that movie than in Breakin'. Yeah, Van Damme famously has that cameo in Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Really, he's in the background dancing at some park where they're breakdancing.
That's a classic movie.
I watched so many YouTube videos about Van Damme and all. Sheldon Lettich is a Hollywood writer and producer. He wrote Rambo 3. He wrote Bloodsport. He wrote like Kickboxer. He did a ton of stuff with Van Damme. And Menachem Gohan, I think, owned Canon Films back in the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
And I remember I just heard on an interview recently, like a week or two ago, Sheldon Lettich was talking about the Corsican Brothers is what Double Impact is based on, the one where Van Damme plays his own twin, which I love.
Right.
And he was talking to Menachem, the big producer, and he said, "Why would I have he didn't believe in making this movie where Van Damme played 2. He said, "Why would I have Van Damme play 2 characters? He can't even play 1." Now, I hate that because I love Van Damme, but it is a great burn. So we love Van Damme on this channel. No smack talking. The great. Nobody can boogie like that. He did enough just with that dancing. So anyway, what else would you like to say about the Thin Blue Line? I think it looks great. You got a Sergio is it Corello? How do you?
Yes, Sergio Cariello did a cover.
Yeah, and I don't have it, so
Now,
sorry.
let me send it to you.
Okay, send it to me, and I'll throw it up there on the screen.
And you know, Joe has done a video explaining why I did this. I should have dug that up earlier and sent it to you because it's pretty interesting. Is Joe is just like he's just such a straight cop now, but he was always like that. I mean, he was never, you know, he was always closed mouthed and very respectful.
Right. So yeah, it's really impressive to see that someone's working as a police officer who, to the best of my knowledge, has worked quite a bit of overtime, and then he's able to do. Let me zoom in here. He's able to do really. I'll zoom in even more. He's able to do high quality illustration. I mean, this is professional level. You know, I've seen some Kickstarters and Indiegogos, and bless the hearts of the people making them, but it's, you know, they need a little work. It's a little rough. Not trying to be a jerk, but this is absolutely professional quality illustration here. So I really like it. I really like the roughness. It has that nice pencil look to it. Hixie says, hail to you both. Book looks great. Oh, David Williams is here, my partner in crime on Bass Reeves and other amazing things yet to come. So, oh, Josh Gradden asked me, Gabe, Beeflaw. Oh, it's funny you should ask. You working on that Sergio cover for me, Mike?
Jeez, I can't find it. Hang on. Yeah, you know, I'm not
It's
real
all right.
technical. If it weren't for Ann, I wouldn't be able to work this computer at all.
Ann is Mike's wonderful wife. So let me see. Open with preview. I gotta. Someone in the chat asked about Beeflaw. I'm gonna take the spotlight from you for 1 second, Mike. I'm not trying to be rude, but someone did ask, or else I wouldn't do this. Beeflaw is my underground Hong Kong illegal kickboxing tournament Van Damme movie, and just like in Double Impact, he's got a twin brother that knows kickboxing. The family gets in over their head with Russian mobsters and Chinese mobsters lending them money, and they find out some stuff they shouldn't know. So the Russian mob is going to kill the mom and the dad and all this stuff. So these two twin brothers, Max and Alexander Volkov, they're Russian immigrants to Hong Kong, and he has a flowing mullet just like Van Damme and Hard Target. So does his little brother or twin brother. Yeah, this is the first page of Beeflaw. It's real, guys. It's coming. So don't worry about it. But let's get back to Mike. This is Mike's show today. So,
you know, I the reason I can't show you that Sergio cover is because he sent me a file that's the size of Texas.
okay.
It took up every inch of computer space I had. And it just, you know, and I can't reproduce those.
Okay. Well, Mike, I've told you got to update from that 2002 gateway. Things too old. So, okay. So, okay. So
wait, here we go.
Go ahead. You can send it to me?
I got something for you.
Just email it to me and I can resize it.
I got it.
Okay.
WJ in the chat says the great comic artist Pete Morisi was also a policeman.
All right, there it is in the Facebook and the PM. It's just a slice of Sergio's cover. It's not the whole thing.
Okay, let me jump over. Let me go over to everyone's favorite website, Facebook, and grab it. Oh, this is such a great cover by Sergio. Was that your wonderful wife helping again?
Yeah, my wife and my dog.
Oh.
All right. So we have. Hey, Ann. Let me see. So I can blow it up a little. It's a little pixelated, but let's see. I don't have the full thing. I just have this clip.
Yeah, that's all we got.
That's all we got. Sorry, guys. But oh, AJ Tom says the Sergio cover is in the campaign. Well,
that's right.
Okay. Well, you could have told me that, Mike. I can grab it from there. Let me go look. But okay, let me go to the campaign. Let me bring up the Sergio cover, and then I'm going to bring up the Indiegogo to see how we're doing. We're at. Oh, let's just throw this over here. Oh, I'll throw the campaign on the screen. Yeah, that makes sense. So right now we are at what are we at? 9,237. Let's get some more backers for the great Mike Barron. And thank you all that have backed so far. This is how many pages is this book, Mike? So people know what
56 pages.
56 pages of story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we have, who's this cover by? This is a more painterly one.
Well, that's Joe's Joe's pencils painted by Jeff Slemons, who's our inker. And Jeff's an awesome artist in his own right.
Yeah, that's intense. My goodness. And then we have a little bit of a description here. Let's find this. Lady Cop. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Chris threw that in there.
Okay. Oh, here's some more pages with the accurate martial arts. And you'll see where he doesn't try to break his friend's wrist. You know? That was my drawing hand too, Mike. Jeez, you almost got me. I'm really impressed with the color. It's a little vibrant, but it's definitely professional. And again, I've seen some independent books where the color is not working, and this is working good. I really like how he's creating depth and focus, whoever your color is.
Ixan and Sori.
Okay. And here's some more uncolored pages. This is looking good. But again, yeah, guys, the link for this book is in the top of the description. I didn't boomer that. Oh, I love it. I love that sunlight coming over the roof there. That's nice.
Yeah, it's beautifully done.
Yeah, let me see if I can make this a little bigger for everyone.
And
then,
one thing Joe liked about the story was that it's not all police work. We get to meet Valeria at home before she goes into work, and there are a number of home scenes which establish her personal life, which I think is important.
Let's get to that Sergio cover. Everyone is just, here's some Punisher. Is this some of your work here, right? Oh, that's such a great shot. He's got the freaking.
It's number one.
He's got the rocket launcher through the window. That's
that's the cover of Punisher #1.
What an entrance, right? Oh, there you are.
That's not me.
That's not you. That's your cousin, Dave. Not Dave Barron. That's a colorist. We'll have to come up with it. Oh, here's a great joke. Man, he looks like a police officer.
Yeah.
How can you not back a handsome man like that with a chin like that and those eyes like an eagle? Goodness. And he's perfectly balanced by his fun-loving friend, Jeff Slemons, next to him. So again, yeah, this is fantastic work. I think these two make a great combination as the illustration team. Man, I'd like to do a little drawing for this, like a pinup or something someday.
We'd love to have it.
Okay. Maybe that's something we could think of adding. I don't know. I'm very busy with a lot of work I'm not allowed to talk about. I have so many things that I'll have to tell you off air, some amazing stuff. Here we go. Finally, the great Sergio. Say his last name again. Sergio, can you tell me his last name again? Because I say
Soriello.
because I was pronouncing it a different way. My wife, who speaks Spanish, we were debating it last night.
And Sergio are doing a new Nexus series for Dark Horse.
The two of you, huh? Fantastic. Yeah, I love this. I mean, you could almost back on this cover alone. This is fantastic. You might think of making this a print or a poster. Let me check the chat again. I don't want to ignore them. I haven't been looking at it for a minute. Hervoye Gravohak, our new moderator, says, Mike, will Thin Blue Line be on Kickstarter? He wants to know about that.
That's up to Chris, but I think it will. That's what we did with Florida Man.
Okay. H.A. Tom says the cover will be available when the campaign breaks 25,000. Is that true, Mike? This Sergio cover becomes available then?
Yes.
Okay, so we got to get it up there, guys. We can't let this beautiful piece of art go to waste. And Hervoye says you can check out Sergio on Instagram. Sergio is a great veteran artist, So let's see. Trying to find more questions. Oh, Adam D. Thank you, Adam D. Says I will be backing tonight after work. Please tell your friends.
Thank you, Adam.
All right. Reagan Lodge says, gotta go. Taking mom out for her birthday. Okay, Reagan, have a great one with your mom. Julie Pascal says, the one time I saw a cop, quote, take down a fleeing suspect, it sort of looked like an awkward bear hug and a stumble into the pavement. Movie stuff is always so dramatic. Yeah, it probably didn't look too graceful in real life. So the mob seat says, stretch goal, add a Gabriel sketch. A sketch of Mike twisting my wrist beyond human limitation. I've forgiven you for that. Can you tell? Muttman says the Sergio art should be highlighted way up top. It's excellent. I agree, Mike. It's some of the best art here. Not hating on any of the other art, but Sergio's just such a dynamic, just experience. Just gives you that mastery that he has.
I'll mention that to Chris.
Okay. Lionart says this looks great. I'm tired of superheroes. Appreciate crime and war comics especially. Well, awesome, Lionart. This is just for you and any friends that think like you. So thank you so much. Hervoye says Indiegogo equals Kickstarter. And I guess, I don't know. I haven't really compared. And let's see what else we got. Mob Seat says Kickstarter has a social justice czar. I don't know anything about that. I'm gonna go with Indiegogo because my friends have experience with that. So are you sending me Facebook messages or is that someone else?
It was me. It's just to make sure I got the whole cover off the Indiegogo campaign and placed it in our private chat.
Oh, and this Florida Man cover too. Very cool. Florida Man still available at all or?
No, we're down to like 10 copies left, but we're going to launch a new one after we're done with Thin Blue Line. And the new Florida Man is even funnier than the first. And the first Florida Man is the funniest comic ever written. When I say funny, I mean you'll laugh out loud. It's not puns, which are the lowest form of humor. It's the highest form of humor, which is absurdity.
Okay, it's just that complete. You know how Florida is always in the news for something strange.
That's why I wrote it.
Right. There was on. If anyone ever listened to Adam Carolla, he had a great segment he would do once a week called "Germany or Florida," and they would read a super absurd news story, and then the guests on his show would have to guess if it was Germany or Florida. I want to show people an example of Mike's amazing comedy chops. Here, to me, this is the joke of the year in comics. Mike, you already know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, I'm glad.
I was reading your boy Zach, who, for those of you in the chat that are OG Comics Game wondering about this new guy from DC, Gabe Altape, I'm OG. I've been working for your boy Zach for years under a pen name because Hollywood is so understanding of conservatives.
That's
I
right.
use a pen name to color comic books. I want you to think about how ridiculous that is. Yeah, Kelsey Shannon and Mike did a great Nexus story that was in one of Zach's latest campaigns. I think it was the Impossible Stars or one of the ones I worked on.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, look at this. Nexus is flying through hyperspace, like through a black hole. And he says, no one has ever received a transmission while in hyperspace. Who could possibly be calling? Because it's like his phone is ringing on the ship. It says, greetings. We have been trying to reach you about your vehicle's extended warranty. So just one of the charms of modern life, endless phone calls about your vehicle. So let's see what else we got. More questions in the chat. Julie Pascal says, somehow we ended up between two sets of cop cars cutting the guy off. Oh, she's talking about when the guy was tackled in front of her. He laid down his motorcycle and tried to run. It was weird, and then we drove away. A lot of stories end that way in life. Things are weird, and then you drive away.
That's right.
So Dana Loesch has a Florida Man segment on her radio show. Oh, that's funny.
You know, Chris Loesch is a Facebook friend. He said that Dana was interested in my book. I should bug him again about it.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to say, Mike? We've been going for about a half an hour. I don't want to make the video too long because I want people when they come on YouTube, when I'm looking for things on YouTube and I see a video is, 58 minutes, I'm kind of loath to watch it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
pretty smart, Gabe.
Yeah, I think we've made our point here short and sweet. We've had a little fun with the chat, but I'm going to clear out. I want you guys to really consider backing Mike's book. I know things are tough. The price of meat and eggs has gone up, damn it. But really, if you guys can take a look at this and say, you know what, I love action and adventure, and I love artists who are going to stand up and not put up with this crazy bullying and all this nonsense. And please back Thin Blue Line for the great Mike Barron. Is there anything you want to say, Mike? Let me zoom in on our beautiful faces. Is there anything you want to say before we go? Because we're going to jump now.
Well, just that I've been writing novels for 15 years, and I write 3 types of novels, crime, horror, and humor. And of course, Florida Man is the humor book. But if you want to take a look at the novels, just go to Amazon and type Mike Barron. That's all you have to do.
Okay. All right, then. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. I want you to all have a great day out there. And thank you, Mike, so much. We will talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Gabe.
Bye.